Lena, I have a surprise for you.
Wait, real?
I haven't told you that I did this, but I have 3 episodes left of Succession. I've watched almost all of it.
You act like I don't like that show either.
I know, but like it's like I don't know. I feel like it's Lena's baby girls.
Kind
but yeah,
of.
no, Zoe and I have been watching it, and I have 3 episodes left.
What are your thoughts? Who do you think should be the CEO? Are you spoiled? Do you already know what's gonna happen?
Yes, I exist on the internet, so like I know the ending.
Are you
mad?
And
so like no, because I saw when it happened, like in Logan's head when it happened, because when he said, "I will go to prison for you," and Logan's like, "What do you want in return?" And he said, "Nothing. Just if you need to throw somebody on the pyre, throw me."
Because he's a fucking serf.
Like, that was it.
Yeah,
that was the one.
Because he's a bitch boy. But it wasn't. It doesn't happen the way you think. I'm gonna be honest.
Absolutely not.
No, I don't know how it happens. Yeah,
it's not. I'll say it's not Logan's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was watching it, so like I was avoiding it because I was like, why do I just want to watch terrible rich people? But like, it's totally the first episode.
When the terrible
you're like,
rich people are terrible. Well, because it's not about...
But because you're like, they're pathetic. It's not that
it's not about the terribleness. It's not about the patheticness. It's about the way... It's about narrative. It's about narrative. It's a show about narrative because not only do they like run a news company and so they twist the narrative all the time, but they can't even keep the stories of their own lives straight. The way that we know basically no backstory except for what the characters tell us, and even then the characters contradict each other all the time. Like when Roman was like, I hated that dog cage, and then Connor was like, you loved it. You asked to be put in it. It's like we don't know what's true and they don't ever know what's true. And that's awesome to me.
Yeah. No, I love, like, immediately when you meet them all in the first episode, like, the brilliantness of when you meet Ken, and he's like, it's the rap music blaring in diegetically.
So true
and,
to
like,
Ken.
And then...
Fucking Beastie Boys.
And then it cuts out, and it's just him rapping in the car, and, like, the driver can't hear him. I was like, pathetic! He's so lame!
And then later all he does is listen to LCD Sound System. I understand him. I'm wearing my LCD Sound System shirt. But I'm like I understand
that, and like
him.
Greg like throwing up out of the character's eyes in the first episode
because he smoked too much weed.
Oh my god!
Wait, who?
What?
Which one? Greg. Greg.
At the
I was so confused for a
whatever.
second, and then I was like, yeah, no, right, his amusement park. See, the pilot does differ a lot from like I feel like it did take them some time to get picked up and they restructured because it's like Roman has like a wife and a child in the first episode.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, I think they sort of justified it in like that was
they were like maybe it's a girlfriend
and that was her kid,
but also her whole thing too, or her girlified him. His whole thing is that he's like he doesn't fuck, so it's like how did he get a girlfriend? You know, like he has Tabitha who understands the situation, and she's like a higher girl. Tabitha is. So like that made a lot more sense. And it's also like Roman is gay. And Roman walking in just, what's up, fuckers? Like that being the first time you meet him, you're like, yeah, no, that's who the character is. I do love
that's who he is.
And it's like I do love that Kieran Culkin won this year because he does some great work in season 4, but also at the same time I'm like
yes,
but he's not really acting because Roman is a lot like Kieran.
The scene with Alexander Skarsgård on like the mountaintop, the "We're not selling to you" scene, Emmy. That was the Emmy. That was it right there.
I mean, he was fantastic, I do think. But then he gets up on stage and he acts just like Roman, and I'm like, oh. I'm like, best actor. Girl, you were not acting. You were serious. Yeah. Although he did say, I remember he did give some interview after that episode aired where he was like, we were up on this beautiful mountain and everyone was like, we had to like take a tram or something to get up there. And everyone was like, oh my God, like, did you see the view, like, in between takes? And he was, like, so focused on the scene and what Roman was feeling. He was like, I didn't even look at it at all. He was like, I have no memory of what it looked like up there. I was just, like, locked in. I was like, wow, that's crazy.
I am so obsessed. 2 things. You look up cunt in the dictionary and it's a picture of Siobhan Roy.
Oh, but she's
100,000%.
also a flop. She's also the biggest
Yeah.
girl flop ever. Every time
She's such a joke. She's so cringe.
every time she walks into a room and she tries to be like, I'm a boss lady, and she's just wrong about
Oh my god.
everything.
The
I love
dinner
her
when she's
confidence,
like
though.
the dinner when she's like, let's just tell him, and everyone's like,
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Girl,
She's like,
girl,
oh, for
what you
fuck's sake,
talking
Dad,
about?
Just tell them it's me.
it's like,
Girly pop, come on.
I really, really hate doing this because it's like women should be able to do anything. But she was good at politics. She should have stayed in politics.
Yeah.
I get that, like,
Yeah,
there
no.
was kind of a stain on her name because her dad runs Fox News. So it's like, I
Yeah.
get that there's a stain on her name, but, like, she should have stayed it. But she was good at it. She was really good.
And I am obsessed with the dichotomy. It's changed now. He's in season 4, but the dichotomy forever of Tom being sort of pathetic about Shiv, and then like in the same breath, he could be like
Dude.
pathetically boyfriending with Shiv, and then completely dominate Greg. Like it's
But also
The
completely
dichotomy
screwing
of
Shiv
that-
over a little bit.
yeah,
And folding for Greg, because in all senses of the term, Greg is not an asset, but Tom
No.
keeps him around even though he's literally worthless.
Oh my god, the scene when Tom thinks he's going to jail and he and Greg go out to the diner and they sit down and Greg is like, everybody's calling you the Christmas tree, like they can hang their crimes off of you. I was just wondering, and he's like, are you asking if you can hang a crime bubble on one of my branches? And then he just says yes to Greg. He's like, yeah, I will take that on for you. No questions asked. I'm like, oh my god, I love them. I'm in love with them.
I was definitely in the Tom Greg camp, and everyone I knew thought I was crazy. And listen, I was crazy because I look at them now and I'm like, ugh. But I will never leave Ken Stewie Nation. I'm still there. I'm still there.
stop.
No, because in the last episode, there's a scene. I won't spoil what happens. I won't spoil what happens, but
Yeah.
there's a scene where they do confirm Stewie's like queerness because Kendall goes, he's like, I know you do this and that, and you kiss boys on Molly, and Stewie's like, and it's like, and are the boys in the room with us right now?
With Kendall too, like the forever, like he's gonna do it, he's gonna get it, he's one-upping on Dad. Oh, actually you killed a guy and Dad found out about it and now he's covering for you and you're under here. Every time he's like,
And
oh,
also
he's a
drug addict, and also he's a bad dad, and also he has a Jesus complex, and also he wants to kill himself, like,
he tried to kill himself multiple times.
and also he shit the bed that one time.
I still I didn't laugh, but when he kind of fell asleep in the pool,
And also
did I
he
laugh?
also
Yes.
he got pushed down at his birthday party really hard.
Stop!
Like,
Ugh.
Roman pushed him. It was like,
No
he pushed him on
way.
his birthday.
There was this scene where there's many of these scenes, but there was one scene where he was floating in a body of water, as he always does.
Well,
and
as
I was
Jesus
like, oh,
does.
Ophelia baby. And my sister was like, oh my god, I have to draw him as Ophelia. I was like, you do.
Mhm. Character of all time, for real.
Yeah.
That show is great. And, while there are a lot like it, okay, I loved Veep. Veep was if Succession was, funnier. And Veep was
Yeah.
also, strictly a comedy.
Yeah.
But it's the same team. It's our... Jesse Armstrong worked on Veep.
Veep was Arrested Development West Wing. That's what Veep was.
Yes. And Succession is Arrested Development, but, higher stakes.
Yeah.
And more Arrested Development, but they take themselves way more seriously, because even in Arrested Development,
Game of
even in
Thrones.
Arrested Development, they know that their lives are a fucking joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
This
Yeah.
one, they're in skyscrapers.
Yeah.
so they're like, we can't be funny, we're serious, and then someone pooped the bed. So, and that's always funny to me. I'm sorry.
Oh my god. Yeah, every time that Zoe has a free moment, I was like, should we watch Succession tonight?
I honestly have not
Yeah.
watched that show since it ended.
No, me neither. To me, it has no rewatch value.
Yeah, it's it's one of those shows where I just don't I can't casually just,
Certain
put on an
episodes
episode
might.
of-
Yeah, certain episodes might, but as a whole, I
you
don't
can
know.
Just drop in on it and be like, let me watch this episode real quick. I don't want to have a panic attack while eating dinner.
I would be interested to go back and revisit the first season just to see how stuff has changed.
Yeah.
because I was gonna say I disagree, because existing on the internet and knowing who gets it in the end and how it and like where it goes, seeing it get there is fascinating.
Yeah, but you don't know the details. But you don't know like how it happens. So I guess that's like the big part, because it's one of those shows where like in an episode nothing really happens because it's a bunch of people sitting around talking in a room, but yet the details and the intimacies between it all, like unlocking all these dynamics, is what's interesting.
Yeah.
The good
feel like
majority of the show, I feel like you don't really like. Yes, we're watching the business part, but we're not watching the
We don't care about the
execution.
business part.
Yeah,
as
we're
much.
not watching the execution of all of their fights and their meetings and their bullshit.
Yeah.
I feel like the execution of the first season was actually so good because a lot of the episodes were like staying in one place.
You could tell that it was completely thought out, like beginning to end. I feel like you could tell that they had definitely mapped it out, like beat by beat.
Did they shoot completely in Manhattan, or did they have like a lot?
No, they had location episodes in. They had they went to London. Well, they went to London,
in Norway.
Well, obviously, I know when they go out of countries and stuff like that. But like,
other than that, did they shoot in Manhattan?
Yeah.
I think so.
I feel like it, especially if
I
they're
read
this.
I read the script book, and I really don't think that they shot. I mean, I'm trying to think of like studio stuff, but like I don't think they.
I feel like
I just think they shot at studios in New York. I really don't think they went all the way to LA.
Yeah.
Like
obviously,
maybe for pickups here and there, but
but no, obviously when they were like in destination places.
Yeah, but even then, like if everyone at the show is New York based, they might just stay there.
Yeah.
But what was I gonna say? Oh, me and my roommate just finished the first season of The Comeback today, which is
is that the NBA show?
No, it's a Lisa Kudrow, like
right,
and they did like one season in like 2005 or something, and then a second season in like 2014.
Oh,
but they're not gonna do a third because one of the cast members passed away, I think. But it's like a woman who it is weirdly like feels like it would be like a Friends adjacent, or maybe something that Lisa Kudrow was like asked to do. It's like a woman who was on a famous sitcom in the 90s, decides to come out of retirement and go on this like new sitcom for the same network, but part of the contract is that she also has to have a reality show like following her around. And so like
and that's the reality show that we're watching.
And so the reality show is the one we're watching.
Gotcha.
Like, we're watching the raw footage from it. And, like, so you, like, see all about her personal life and everything, but also, like, you see her experience making the show and just how people treat women, especially women over 35 in Hollywood. Because there's one producer who happens to be Bill Ponderosa from Always Sunny. There's one producer who, like, fucking hates her and, like, takes it out on her like crazy. But, like, no one believes her. Or people just pile on because she's a woman over 35 in Hollywood at this time.
Bill Ponderosa's actor is in fucking everything, dude.
Young Sheldon.
Young Sheldon.
Oh my god.
He's really good in this. Like, I hated him. He was pissing me off. But that was a good thing because, like, he was the villain. But, so we just finished season 1 of that today. It was pretty cray. And then, I've been watching Shadows.
I'm
also rewatching The Crown.
I'm watching Abbott Elementary finally.
I need to catch up. I need to catch up on the current airing. I haven't started this new season at all.
Yeah, so I'm halfway through season 2, and I think they're on season 3.
Okay,
yeah,
they are. But they're only 4 episodes, I think, into season 3, and I need to start on that, like, so I can just keep up.
I know Casey Frey's in an episode.
And Sabrina Breyer.
Yeah, they're both... because Quinta remembers where she came from. Mm-hmm. Quinta's like, I started on the internet. There's fucking funny people on the internet.
I was just watching
Casey Frey is such a pull, though, because I feel like he hasn't done stuff in years.
No, literally. I was watching this one episode a couple days ago, and it was the episode with, like, the samurai stories people...
One of
the guys in that, he was from BuzzFeed, like the blonde guy.
Yeah, she hired a couple BuzzFeed people, I think. I will say, I don't care that much for Gregory and Janine. Not in like a ship, not in a I don't care for them way. In a it's a will they, won't they, but I know they will. I'm not like holding my breath for
No.
it, you know what I mean?
I watched the Kiss episode today. Oh my god.
I know, and I am enjoying the tension, but I'm not nervous. I'm not like,
Dude,
oh, what
no,
if they
wait,
don't?
you should be.
I'm like they will eventually.
No, but you should be, because the writer's strike has fucked shit up.
Really?
The writer's strike yeah, because there's now been such a gap in the time that we've seen them that like a gap.
The dynamic has passed.
Happened.
I see.
No, it hasn't passed, but like shit has happened. It's so funny. They explain that it's like they want to keep like actually where they are in the school year correct with like the time that it's airing. So they explain the 5-month gap of like the documentary crew not being there, of like they went to a place in Kensington and the camera crew got mugged. And they lost their camera equipment.
So real.
Watching Abbott Elementary though has just made me so like just pissed off of not having shows with a 22 episodes.
It's like
anymore.
it's nostalgic, but we shouldn't be. This should still be the standard.
I hate I love like how much shit has to happen in a season. Like I'm also rewatching Glee at the same time, and like I remember how long it took me to watch season 1, and I was like, I forgot how much shit you can put in 22 episodes. Like,
I feel like it's just nice because they get to build
episodes all the time now.
It's just
so
nice
annoying.
because they get to build characters with personalities. Like they feel like real, like more, even if they're ridiculous and comedic, they're like real people. But I have a group of mutuals on Twitter who are in a Jacob and Mr. Morton are gonna get together kind of thing, and with how this Jacob Hill, the redhead teacher, and then Mr. Morton, who's like,
which one's Mr. Morton?
Him and Jacob are like enemies, and like they sometimes talk.
He's the guy
and then
from the egg
because now Evan, cover yours.
You spoiled. Did him and Zach break up? Because you saying that makes me think he's not with Zach.
It might be
Fucker,
true.
shut the hell up.
And apparently Mr. Morton mentioned that he's like going to marriage counseling now, and it's like, you guys are laying the foundation for something. I don't know what it is, but it's something like the more my mutuals post about it, the more I'm like, this could happen.
I'm literally I was watching the Valentine's Day episode when you guys said, let's record. I don't want that. That sounds stupid to me.
They say that it's starting to eat.
I'm not trying to watch.
They're kind of becoming friends-ish now. So
wait, he hasn't showed up at all in this season.
I thought he's been in like every episode so far.
No, he has not shown up once.
What are my mutuals saying?
The last time I saw him was the egg drop episode, and I'm halfway through season 2.
No, on season 3.
Amanda's speaking for season 3.
Well, yeah, I know.
He has not shown up once.
That's crazy. That's so funny. What
Fake
are my mutuals
news.
saying?
Other
I'm
than
just
that,
taking it as
I'm
gospel
not
because I haven't even watched it yet.
Yeah, I'm not watching, like, I don't think any other, like, live television. Like, I think Abbott is the only show that, like, I'm watching that's actively, like, airing.
Me neither. I feel like I'm really trying to catch up on years past.
I'm watching Glee. I've been so entertained.
Yeah. Because of the award ceremonies, I stopped watching The Crown because I was nervous about how they were going to handle Diana. My parents watched it, and they said they handle it really well, so I was like, okay.
Oh, my mom loved it, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I forgot where I stopped, so I'm just starting from the beginning again. I just got to the first Olivia Colman season. I forgot Matt Smith played the Queen's husband in the first 2 seasons. I was like, what up, doctor?
So weird.
But yeah. Yes, I'm deep into success. Every time Greg comes on screen, I just go, Greg.
I still laugh as when fucking Tom's getting, like, questioned at, like, the one, like, hearing, and he's like, you sent Greg, what is the fucking quote, Lena? Like, scramble a lot at Greg.
You can't make a Tomlet without breaking a couple Gregs.
He was like, you sent that email 57 times today.
In one night. in one night. And then they were like, what was happening between the hour of this and the hour of this where you weren't sending that email? And I feel like he was like, I was asleep. Like
I also love the little moments of like something significant is happening for a character over here and Greg walks by or Greg sees it and Greg is just observing. He just sees shit.
And then the next scene, he's like scheming with someone else, and like,
and he's so fucking bad at it. The problem with Greg, the real problem with Greg, is that he has no spine, no loyalty. Yeah. Like he will.
Are you asking permission to blackmail me?
It's more
Greg?
like he will jump ship at like jump from team to team based on who he thinks might have the advantage, and that makes him untrustworthy to everyone. But the reason he gets away with it is because he is so nothing that they're like, oh, well, this guy's not a threat, so I'll let him on my team. That's fine.
Except for that moment, like when he tells Kendall, like, hey, I've got these documents, and Ken is like, oh my god, Greg the Egg.
Like making,
I fucking miss him.
I personally am offended that we never got to hear more about Greg's gay dad.
Oh,
what happened to Greg's gay dad? They did mention it in like season 4, but it's like, no, I want to know. Well, because when he was like saying something, he was like, "You're mean, Uncle Logan. You're a mean man, and where are your kids? And it's your birthday." And then Logan was like, "Where's your dad? Sucking dick under the boardwalk, bitch." Like, I thought that was so funny. And then Greg literally just took it. He was like,
so anyway, yes, everybody was right, and Succession is great, and I've got 3 episodes left, and it's driving me insane. My sister is also insisting that is Alexander Skarsgård's real voice. I was like, that man has never spoken with an accent before, ever. I don't believe you. Like, I don't believe you.
Neither do any of the other brothers, right? Were they raised in America? I can't remember.
Bill has like almost like a
British,
almost like a Aussie, like British accent to me. Because what are they? New Zealand? Are they Swedish?
They're Swedish. Their dad has
Swedish
British.
people usually do sound British. Because
yeah,
I follow I follow that
anything.
one Norwegian like lesbian TikToker couple, and when they speak in English, they sound kind of British to me.
Yeah,
and I feel
or the dad Stellan, right? He just gave a great interview about like when he was in Mamma Mia, and he's like, "Oh, me and Colin and Pierce, we're the bimbos. That's great. No, I'm in." Like, yeah, yes, you are.
Sure,
thank you so much.
For sure.
I feel like also just like playing a lot of like American people for like a really long time and like living all over the place, probably his accent adjusts to.
Yeah, dude, Millie Bobby Brown.
I was just gonna bring that up.
So
yeah,
gone.
Millie sounds.
Didn't she go on
like
to Tonight Show the other night, and people were like, "Where is her accent?"
Yeah, well, she's dating a Bon Jovi, and she lives in LA. She just like sounds like that.
Yeah, and
now.
she's been like playing an American girl since she was probably like 5 years old. Like, some of her first gigs were like American roles. Like, so yeah, it makes sense though. I'm still trying to get invited to that wedding.
Working on it.
That would be so, oh my god, that'd be so funny.
I'm like twice removed from the Bon Jovi, so maybe it'll happen. Maybe I'll be someone's +1.
I live in New Jersey. Is that anything?
Yeah, I live in LA.
Oh, so, circling back to Abbott, I'm so excited to see what the field trip episode is this year. I wonder if it'll be like the Constitution Center or the Betsy Ross house. Like, where in Philly are you going on a field trip this year? I'm so excited.
I do got my Gregory representing Baltimore for me, though, which I think is really cute.
Oh, yeah.
That's my boy.
What if they go to New York? Ooh. That would be too far.
If they couldn't fucking afford $5,000 to go to some, like, science museum, you think they're going to New York?
Did you just call the Franklin Institute some science museum?
I don't know shit about that place.
Excuse me.
Did you guys hear about SNL last night?
No.
Sydney Sweeney?
Yeah, people are just saying it was dog shit. And I watched a couple of the sketches, and it was.
I saw, like, someone
dog shit.
It's been dog shit, but especially that one because her whole thing, or all the roles that they had her do was just bimbo, 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 woman with big tits. Glenn Powell joke. Like, I don't know. I was just kind of like, oh. I'm like,
is it that last week?
Is it that she doesn't
fired
Shane Gillis?
I know Shane Gillis, but it's also just like, is it because she's not funny? Is that why?
She isn't. I don't think she has good like people chemistry. Like, and anything that I saw that she did after Euphoria, like interview wise or just like stuff, I'm just like, you're not. No, I haven't enjoyed her in anything.
She was not funny in Anyone But You. She really wasn't.
I watched like 10 minutes of that movie.
I saw the
It
whole
was
thing.
Terrible.
It was in the theater, and I actually had a good time. I think I rated it like 3.5 stars on Letterboxd because I had a good time in the theater. But I was with a bunch of my friends.
And was he
and
good?
And that colors how I feel.
Because if he was good, then at least half the movie's good. But like my mom, they were watching it in the living room. My mom was like, I hate how she says things.
Is that the rom-com with her and Glenn?
Yeah.
He was okay. I feel like he wasn't as good as he was in Set It Up, but he was fine. I don't know. Like, his whole thing was that he was like an asshole. They kept calling him a fuckboy. I really hate the way that the script dropped the fuckboy so many times. But like,
I mean, it's based on Much Ado About Nothing, and that is what his character
when they
is.
spell it
right,
out
so he was like a fuckboy who's like a secret kind of like scaredy cat. No, but when they name drop the phrase fuckboy over and over and over again.
Yeah,
it's like, well, it's like you're really dating yourself. But yeah, but his thing is he's like low-key a little scaredy cat, kind of. I don't know. It was okay.
What's the thing about buttholes I saw?
Know how I feel about that
What's
movie
the
nowadays. There were lesbians though.
They like tickle. They like.
Oh, is it when they like
they
take all
have
their
to,
clothes
like-
off because
yeah,
of
I
the
think so. I
spider?
saw Brittany Broski posting about it.
There was like a spider. Okay, they were like basically they're like standing on this mountaintop, and the whole thing is they're like pretending to date, and so they're like, okay, we need to do PDA. Stick your hand in my pocket, but she like doesn't have pockets or whatever, so she's like, okay, you can put your hand like in my pants, you can like grab my butt or whatever, and then she starts like doing it to him, and then there's a spider in there. She finds a spider in there, so he freaks the fuck out and like takes all of his clothes off. He's completely naked, and then he's like, okay, am I good? And he like bends over or whatever, and she's like, oh my god, I just saw your butthole.
Fuck.
And then he's like, okay, he's like okay, like I should check you now, because he threw his clothes like off the cliff because he was freaking the fuck out, and then she just like looks in her pants and in her bra, and she's like, I'm good. And then he's like, are you serious? And then they're like, okay, he needs to get dressed or whatever, so she gives him her shorts, her like bike shorts, and she's just in her underwear and like a bra, and they're just standing there like with the rest of the hiking group, and they're like, so what did we miss?
Yeah, like that doesn't
my
even
God, that
sound like
so
someone
terrible.
could write that.
I don't know.
funny.
And then there was a thing with Unwritten by Natasha Bedingfield. Like,
Yeah.
that song kept coming up over and over again because he has like a fear of flying or something, and he was like, I have to listen to that song when I fly because it calms me down. And they get into a couple situations with heights, and so obviously that song comes up again. And then they did a blooper reel thing at the end where it's like everybody behind the scenes singing Unwritten. Feel the rain on your skin. No one else can feel it for you.
I know they like at the People's Choice Awards, Natasha Bedingfield came out, sang perhaps 2 lines of the song, and then Glenn Powell started to sing along with her, and it was awful. The People's Choice Awards were so fucked. It was
I didn't watch
because
them.
everybody important was at the BAFTAs, so it didn't matter.
Oh, I see. Yeah, it was kind of butthole of a movie, but like I was with my friends and we did sneak food in, so I had a good time
See, that's fun.
at the time. Well, and we were also just sitting there like, what the fuck is happening? I also saw Drive Away Dolls
I heard it was bad, and I'm like kind of sad, and I want to see it.
yesterday, 2 days ago. Okay, I know you're a pager head. He's only in it for like 2 minutes.
That's not even why I want to see it. It just looked good from the trailer.
So, okay, here's the thing. I enjoyed it. I would watch it again. I go to the school of the Coen brothers. I go to Coen Brothers University, and it's a Coen Brothers movie. Like, but it's Ethan without Joel. And like, if you've ever, I don't know if you've seen The Big Lebowski. You have?
Yeah.
It's, to me,
Yeah.
it was like if The Big Lebowski and A Serious Man had a baby.
Oh.
But because it is really psychedelia, it's really like it's stupid, it's funny. There's a lot of like crazy shit that happens.
Like, it seems like someone has something a lot of people want, and it's a lot of people, different people going after these 2 girls. Is that like kind of the premise?
It's
of what I
really
got?
not. It's really more just it's really more just one group is like the group who was supposed to transport this case in the drive away is chasing the girls. And so there's like a chief, like a chief of police, or they just call him the
And
chief.
so, like, all those big name men are all, like, the different guys, like, trying to get it.
Yeah, but they're all like working for the same
Gotcha.
people.
That's what I mean.
And then a lot of people, and a lot of people have like, and you don't find out what's in the case until like very near the end. That's like the silly part of it. And then there's like Beanie Feldstein, who's like
cop
the ex-girlfriend.
Isn't she a cop?
She's a cop, and she's Margaret Qualley's ex-girlfriend.
She's kind of a cunt from the clip I saw.
She is. She's an unlikable character, but like in a silly way. And she's following Margaret Qualley and the other girl because she's kind of like out for revenge in like a relationship way, nothing to do with the case. She's just like, you're an asshole.
A funny protagonist.
Yeah,
or whatever.
and I don't know. I had a really good time. But it is like, so what? When the Coen brothers work on movies together, like Fargo or whatever, like crazy batshit things can happen, but there's always some like heart to it. Because Joel is not there, and I feel like he's really into the dramatics and the heart because he's done movies on his own too that were like really serious. It's just Ethan running wild with comedy and slapstick at some parts and psychedelia. So like it's fun, but like don't expect something serious.
My last recommendation before we get into the show, Lisa Frankenstein was
I want to
so good.
see that.
My roommate watched it and she didn't like it.
It's a Winona Ryder Johnny Depp movie. It's campy, it's fun, it's cunty, it's great, and it's a Winona Ryder Johnny Depp movie, and like fully like that's the vibe, and its references like Diablo Cody and Zelda Williams directed it. Robin Williams' daughter directed this movie.
Okay.
There's so many references to classic Frankenstein. Like there's one part, like there's a character named Janet, and she like calls up for the main character at one point, and she goes, "Damn it, Janet!"
Yeah,
and it's just so subtle. There's a dream sequence where she is dreaming in black and white, and she looks like the Bride of Frankenstein, and she's wearing this dress that's like a Pabst Blue Ribbon dress. It's so fucking good. Zoe's seen it 4 times.
Of
course she has.
My friend wanted to watch it because she was like, Cole Sprouse is in it, but he doesn't talk, and that's a win in my book. Because she just finished Riverdale, and she was really deep in there, but she's a Riverdalian. But she was like, Cole Sprouse is not, like, she was like, Jughead and Cole Sprouse are 2 different entities. Like,
no, they're
like he will never be Jughead. I'm sorry, Jughead is something different. And
no, I watched this Cole interview and he was like, I purposely chose to dye my hair so I would, like, when I finish the show, I could, like, start fresh and, like, have no connection to, like, needing my hair black anymore.
Yeah.
Fun thing about Lisa Frankenstein is Kim Rhodes has played both of their moms.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Because of Supernatural.
Because Catherine Newton is Claire Novak.
Yeah. And Kim basically, like,
adopts
Jodie
her.
takes her in.
Well, and the other woman. Lesbianism.
Yeah.
Okay, what's her name?
Donna.
Donna.
I've met both of them. They're lovely. They give good hugs. Great. Hello, it's a half an hour in. Let's talk about Shameless. We haven't talked in a minute, okay?
It's been a while.
Hi, everybody. This is The Luck We Had. It's a Shameless recap podcast. Are you still here? Are you still
like
listening?
Crazy. Anybody still watching that show? Shameless? That's crazy.
I bought my tickets for Fan Expo. I need to buy the photo op, but I bought my tickets for Fan Expo.
I'm sorry I can't go. I'm literally graduating.
I need to see if I can afford to go. I want to go. But
dude,
we'll
if
see
you buy
I
right now,
make
the
it.
whole weekend is $89.
But my thing is like if I can afford to take off of work.
Word.
Yeah.
Word. Yeah.
But speaking of Shameless, obviously, I don't know. On my TikTok recently, I've been seeing a lot of like Liam supremacy. I've been seeing a lot of people talk about our boy Liam. And also,
he's the best.
Also, oh my God, Lena, I don't know why I didn't send this to you. I saw a Twitter thread yesterday, that was called "Why Glee and Shameless Are the Same Exact Show."
Because they are.
It is the funniest Twitter thread in the entire world.
Because
and
they
my
are.
My favorite thing is the quote retweet at the very, very end. Is to summarize this is that. The last season only matters because the gay people get married.
That's true. That's true. Well, and also it's like, okay.
I'll send it to you guys right now.
And you know what? Ian and Mickey are Brittany and Santana.
They said an incredibly older blonde narcissistic comedic relief, which is Sue and Frank, ruin a wedding between Emma and Fiona, the trio of boy versus two girls, which is like Finn, Quinn, and Rachel, and then Lip, Mandy, and Karen.
And one is blonde and one is brunette.
Yep.
Also, at one point, Kurt literally dates Harry Hamlin. He dates Jimmy's dad.
Oh yeah, dude,
yeah.
Harry Hamlin is fucking everywhere. I feel like I saw him in something recently
His name was
too.
Walter. All my friends called me Walter for so long. The baby adoption storyline.
Why is Harry Hamlin a diva?
Era?
Yeah.
The I'm gay
crazy.
scene between
I'll
Kurt
say
and
it.
his dad and Fiona and Ian.
No, I'll say it. The Ian and Mickey baby storyline does not sit right with me. The one in the last season.
Yeah.
I'll say it. It doesn't sit right with me anymore.
I mean, we'll get there. We'll get to do a scene for scene breakdown of that. But like, yeah.
Like
no,
way
I
later,
agree.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like no, that felt
There's another-
shoehorned.
Shit. I was gonna say something else. I forgot.
But that thread was really, really funny, and I sent it to you guys, so check it out.
I'll have to
Oh my
read the
god,
whole
yeah,
thing.
I wanted to talk about Noel announced that new project that is going to flop. So.
Whatever.
Embarrassing! An AI comedy about... shut up.
Not
Shut
even worth mentioning because who is gonna watch it? Sorry.
Literally no one.
Sorry.
Just
Is
like
it?
his last cop show?
I'm sorry. Is it straight to streaming or is it?
I think so, yeah.
It's not running in theaters. It's a movie,
no,
right?
it's a TV show. It's a TV show.
I thought it was a movie.
I think it's a TV show.
Wait, let me look at the announcement again.
Whatever it is, the title also terrible. The title's so bad.
It's like some pun with AI, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cognitive.
Yeah.
How am I?
Terrible.
Am I supposed to cognitive? Cognitive.
Cognitive.
It's cognitive, but it's got AI in the middle.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just
AI-tive.
AI thriller from first time feature filmmaker. It's a movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
It's gonna
the
flop.
The film centers. Yeah, there's nothing about where it's gonna be though.
Wait, I'm looking at the thread. The scene when, like, Blaine says, like, I'm gay. I'm 100% gay, and then they parallel it to Ian
Just like
saying
Ian.
that to Caleb. But
Just
wait,
like Ian.
it's literally word for word. Her comment is, this is practically plagiarism. Oh my
And
god,
it
the
is
gay
on
BFF
Shameless's
between
part.
Ian and Kurt. Oh my god, biphobic Ian and Kurt supremacy. This thread is crazy. No, they literally compared the Walter part.
Oh my god.
Teen pregnancy, really dramatic birth.
Oh my god, yes. Losing my religion.
Blonde injured in a car
Yeah.
accident as a result of a text from brunette.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, they did not
Blonde,
just compare
blonde
Mickey
goes
to
through a
Santana.
punk/emo phase.
They just compared...
Karen? Oh my god.
Scientists can't tell these scenes apart. It's Kurt and Ian. This is practically plagiarism.
Anyway.
So funny.
So
Stop,
Shameless and Glee are the same show, apparently.
Kurt and Blaine and
Um,
Ian and Mickey had the same, like, song playing at their wedding. At last.
Oh, yeah, that's a
Really?
classic.
They both have At Last at the wedding?
That's a classic wedding song. I'm sorry, Ian and Mickey's wedding was like, I wish I had a little, like, I loved their wedding, but also I'm like, why was there no flavor with their, like,
Where
about,
were
like, their
the sisters?
relationship? Why was it so, like, generic wedding?
For whose
Yeah.
wedding? I didn't hear you
Ian
say.
and
and
Mickey's.
Oh, yeah. But I guess because the whole thing was, like, the whole lady didn't, like, thought it was a straight wedding, so they already had to be incognito.
It's not even about that. It's literally just like, no, because once the wedding started. It was more just to get in the venue. But it's like, no, because even like during the ceremony, it's like, why was there not something silly, something special? They literally did the textbook vows.
Yeah.
Like, for sickness, for poor, for richer.
Yeah,
like
because God forbid you write anything creative for their vows at all. Like,
right? And the
anything
writers would just be
personal.
like, they're shy. They wouldn't do vows in front of other people. And it's like, I know that that's not true. They're two of the most annoying, obnoxious people on planet Earth.
Mickey would write a fucking sonnet. Like
Mickey threw a tantrum. Mickey threw a tantrum in a government building because Ian wouldn't marry him. He threw a public tantrum and he pushed him down the stairs. He's crazy. Same character, best character. I know that's right. Oh, and it's Ian.
No. She's comparing it to Santana and Mickey because it's like 2 fight scenes and like them crying. It's Mickey... like Santana when she's like weeping and she's like crying
and she's
about
like, I can't believe I did that. Oh my god! When Mickey was crying,
Mickey's like, I don't know why I'm crying. Just shut up. He's like, are you crying because your dad's dead or because you hate him? He's like, I don't know.
Ian Gallagher.
I'm gonna take the wheel. I'm gonna take the wheel. I'm gonna steer us. We have to start the episode.
I know.
Yeah, we do. It's getting late.
It's okay. Anyway, hi. This is the Shameless Recap Podcast. My name's Amanda.
My name is Evan.
I'm Lena.
Welcome. 40 minutes in. This is where we recap Shameless, and we're in season 6, episode 8. I can't even with the fucking title of this episode. Be a good boy. Come for grandma.
I don't want to.
Why is that the title of the episode?
Shock value.
So many other things happened.
And this episode, well, you'll see. I have it in the notes about the people who created this episode. This aired on March 6th, 2016. It was written by Nancy Pimentel. This is the 15th of 26 Shameless episodes she wrote. She did 3 episodes in season 1, Aunt Ginger, It's Time to Kill the Turtle, and Daddy's Girl. She did 3 episodes in season 2, I'll Light a Candle for You Every Day, Bottle of Jean Nate, and Just Like the Pilgrims Intended. 2 in season 3, The American Dream and Survival of the Fittest. 3 episodes in season 4, My Oldest Daughter, a jailbird invalid martyr cutter, and Emily, rare win for this woman.
What? I thought Nancy Pimentel. Sorry, I thought we were talking about Sheila Callahan for a second. I was like, that's Mrs. Galovich to you.
She did Milk of the Gods and Tell Me You Fucking Need Me in season 5. She did Abortion Rules and this one in season 6. In season 7, she did Swipe, Fuck, Leave, You'll Never Get a Chicken in Your Whole Life. The fuck is that title?
So funny. It's a good episode.
Wait, which
You'll
one
never
is that,
ever
Lena?
get a chicken in your whole fucking life. I don't even fully remember. I feel like it's a Fiona line.
I don't even think I don't remember.
You'll never ever get a chicken in your whole entire life. Oh, it has to do with Liam and Frank.
Oh, with the school.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I remember.
She did 802, Where's My Meth, and 808, Frank's Northern Shuttle Express. 901, Are You There, Shim? It's Me, Ian. 906, Face It, You're Gorgeous. And 910, Los Diablos.
Shim.
And then season 10, Sleep Well, My Prince, for Tomorrow You Shall Be King. Which, that's a Mikey line. I hate that line.
That was like, Ian and Mickey fighting in prison. Yeah?
No, that was Mikey.
Oh, right, because Ian and Mickey didn't even appear. They didn't even really appear in the first 2 episodes, did they?
They show up like them fighting in like the jail cell. Just
it was like episode 3.
Episodes in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
Nancy also did Citizen Carl, and then 1102, Go Home Gentrifier, and then 1111, the penultimate episode, The Fickle Lady is Calling It Quits. Her vibes are evil. She was a producer on the whole series. She wrote also the Ian and Mickey and the Kevin V and the Lip Hall of Shame episodes.
Who did the Fiona one?
Did anybody do the Fiona one?
Yes. No, let's be real. And then the other one was just the 3 kids, right? Debbie, Carl, Liam.
Yeah. There was a Frank one too.
Nah.
Yeah.
Whatever. Who cares?
Next.
This episode was written by Ian B. McDonald. This is his second of 17. Like, he's fresh, but he does 17 of them. He did Abortion Rules in this one, 703, Home Sweet Homeless Shelter, 801, We Become What We Frank, and The Miseducation of Liam Fergus, Burkhart Gallagher. He did Occupy Fiona and A Gallagher Pedicure. He did our 901 Are You There, Sham, It's Me, Ian, 911 Hobo Games, and 913 Lost. He did 1004 A Little Gallagher Goes a Long Way, which I don't even remember.
See, I love when they like decided to just stop putting the titles in the episode.
Yeah.
Like, remember how it used to be like someone would always say the title of the like or it would refer in a very real way to something going on, and then later they were like, not anymore. We're just being silly with it.
Like, the title of this one is a deeply disturbing actual line in the show.
Right? I kind of have beef. Sorry, Ian McDonald. I kind of have beef with this guy because this is the sitcomification of Shameless in the later seasons. Like looking at the names of all these episodes, I'm like, oh yeah, that's the one that looked like it was shot multicam on a soundstage. Sorry. Who said that?
He also did most of season 11. He did 1101, 1102, 1104, 1106, 1109.
And honestly, you can say season 11 looked flat just because they had to be in sound stages because of COVID.
The colors,
like they couldn't couldn't go on location. They had to build the exterior of the Gallagher house on a sound stage, which they've never had to do before. So
honestly, the house itself, I really didn't see any flaws to. It's just when they were like shooting towards the street and the whole background was blurry.
Right, because they couldn't be on the street.
Anything.
Because they couldn't be on the street for real. They couldn't go to Chicago because of COVID. So it's like, okay, he gets a pass for that. But season 10?
Yeah. The synopsis of this episode is Fiona, now living with Sean, attempts to get his son Will to like her. He starts to come around, but when Will snags one of Carl's guns at the Gallagher house, Sean catches him and is furious with Fiona, worried he'll lose custody.
Sorry, is that not...
That's the synopsis of the episode. It's just about Fiona.
But also, is that not just Fiona's entire plotline for this episode? Like, they spoiled it beginning to end?
Yeah.
Am I crazy to think Will finds the gun at the end of this episode? That's like that's a big shock, a big reveal.
Yeah,
and it's like...
then you deal with it in the next episode.
Right, and I'm like, okay, so we spoiled it.
Well, also, the promo for this episode spoiled the foot rub, like, orgasm, which is, like,
it was promotional,
end of, like, storyline in this episode.
Right, because his whole thing is he
hasn't
been able to come or something with these girls.
He's like so in love with Helene and also got whiskey dick that he like can't get off.
Yeah.
Anyway, the previous one was done by Lip, Ian, and Kev by a tree.
Just standing. Aren't they like smoking or something?
Yeah, I think so.
It's like, okay, we're just standing
the alibi
and smoking.
Or just like on the street?
No, they're just on the street.
Oh, cool.
I'm super excited for when we start to get into really bad episodes because we're just going to be like, and this is happening. Like, okay.
So season 8. Previously on Shameless, Carl gave Fiona the money to buy the house, so he's taken it over. Nick is gone because he did a bad thing. Queenie, Chucky's grandma, is back in town, and Frank is obsessed with her. Fiona moved in with Sean. Lip moved in with some sorority girls, but is spiraling hard over his breakup with Helene. We open on Queenie summoning the tribe for breakfast with a cowbell. She insists that they eat in the dining room like civilized people. She is like Monica on a manic upswing.
It's just the it's part of the living room, yeah, the dining room.
It's that space between the kitchen and the living room.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of like compare it to like the Sheila layout. Like they could put a dining room table there, but like they don't.
It's where they put the Thanksgiving table in the Thanksgiving episode, yeah.
It's sort of the dining room.
They don't even have a table there. Did she put one there?
Mm-mm. Yeah, no, they end up she puts one there, but I don't think it's the table from the kitchen, though.
There is a table that lives there. It's, like, pushed closer to the wall.
Yeah, that's where Ian and Sammy sat when she was, like, messing with his hand wound or whatever.
Oh,
but
yeah,
that's not big enough to be a table
we
for the whole family,
We don't really see that side of the house that much, though, so...
No. Because it's near windows.
Because
it's near windows, and I feel like it's hard to shoot. Especially on a soundstage, because the interior of the house is a soundstage. So it's like, it's harder to shoot near those windows.
And it makes sense, because that's probably, like, open, so, like, cameras could sit there and, like, pan throughout the room and stuff like that.
Right. They would have to put up that back wall. And they were like, no.
Nope, no thank you.
But anyway, Queenie gives them all flaxseed pills and serves a healthy breakfast that none of them are going to eat. And then
Isn't it like quinoa pancakes and some like bullshit and like kale scramble.
I respect the fuck out of her. I'm sorry. She's a diva to me.
Like I said, she's like Monica on a manic upswing. Like she functions like Monica.
She's
in
holistic
that way.
Monica.
But she actually
Yeah.
functions.
Yeah. It's without the mania. She's like that without the mania. They all get up and try to leave because they don't want to eat this food. And she slams her hand on the table and she's like, "Come back!" And they all listen to her.
They want a little
Yeah.
structure in their
Of all
lives.
people.
They want a little mother figure. They all have mommy issues.
They sure do. And she says they all need to have more respect for Frank. And then she and Frank start singing.
I forget what song it is. I don't think I knew it when they were singing it.
And there's a knock at the door, and Frank, still singing, answers the door. And it's someone here for Carl, someone who seems to be part of the gun-running gang that Carl sells for. And Carl comes to the door. He says he wants to sit this run out, like, because the guy's like, "You have to go on a run." And Carl said, "No, I want to sit this out." And so the guy pistol whips Carl in the face. Because you're
Bruh.
in a gang, my guy. You can't just say, "I quit." That's not how that works.
What if he was really sick? If he was like, "Guys, I'm really sick. I have the flu. I have to sit out. My tummy hurts. I have to sit out."
Meanwhile, Fiona is at Sean's, being very domestic, cooking up breakfast for Sean and Will. And Will doesn't like that Fiona moved in. And she's like, "Should I, like, go home for a little while Will is here?" And Sean's like, "Yeah, this is your home, though. You moved in here. So this is your home."
My favorite part is like she's
Family
just, like,
home,
standing
it's home.
there. Like she's just standing there and Will goes, "That's my dad's shirt."
Well, it's like, you're not my mom.
And she's like, "All right, I'm gonna go to work and I'm gonna find a way to win over this 10-year-old who hates me." And he goes, "I kind of love you right now." And she goes, "You better."
I love you, Dermot.
I know, it's this whole episode, the whole next episode, I'm like, they're not happily ever after, and it makes me sick. Like,
I
love them. And then, for some reason, we get another scene of Queenie and Frank having freaky roleplay sex. Just another one of these.
It's kind of funny. I don't. It's like, okay, sure.
And in the middle of it, she says that they need money, and he's like, "I will go get some money." And Carl waits for them to finish, and then says he needs to talk to Frank. And Frank's like, "Hey, Carl, I need more allowance. I need more money." And Carl's like, "Yeah, I don't do gun running anymore, so I don't have any money." And he's like, "Nick is gone. He is sad. He wants out." And he says, "I like the money, the respect, and the honeys. I don't like never seeing my friend again."
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouchies.
Ethan has some strong shit in this season. Like, this was good.
And then they just completely forgot about him.
I feel like if he wanted to do, like, serious roles, he could.
But he's too busy rapping. Sorry.
Sorry.
I mean, are you wrong?
Carl tells Frank about the shipment that he has to deliver, but he doesn't want to do it. And Frank's like, "Okay, you take today off. I'm going to cover you and do the shipment for you."
It's just so silly. It's so, his
this
whole
is
thing
the
this
Coke
episode is so
episode.
silly.
Over to the sorority house. A sorority girl is getting naked and climbing into bed with Lip because he left the party early at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Sorority houses can't have parties, actually, so I'm pretty sure that's why they partner up with frats, because frat houses can throw parties.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
the frats
interesting.
and the sororities throw parties together, but they do it at the frat
Interesting.
house. Yeah, sorority houses do not throw parties.
What a weird, misogynistic part of Greek life.
Sorority houses do not throw parties because their houses are very nice. Like,
Oh.
really, really nice. And frat houses are kind of shitholes. So, like,
Yeah.
that's just where they do it.
Okay, that way-
there
that makes
also
way more
might be a
sense,
thing in, like, the sorority, like, national rules or whatever, because it's kind of, like, unbecoming or whatever to, like, throw a crazy-ass party. But most sororities do not throw parties.
But can you throw a party only for your sorority in your sorority house? Because it seemed like in that one episode when they do have the party, I think it might be this episode. It's like
a mixer.
It's a mixer.
It's not
called a
Okay.
party, but like yeah, you can kind of do that. But I feel like usually it doesn't get as crazy as like. Well, I don't know because I'm not in Greek life, but I feel like usually it's not as crazy as like drinking and like going crazy because there is usually a house mom or whatever. There's someone running shit. And so
like there is a house mom of this house. She hired Lip. Like there's a
right.
house mom.
And there's like a staff and shit. So like I don't know. There's like it's hard.
he's the houseboy, but then he's also the cook too. Like he has like multiple roles.
A lot of sororities have like hired chefs to cook for them.
Yeah, chef.
Chef.
She gets on top of him. They start to try to fuck, but Lip can't get hard. And he makes some excuse. He's like, I did not sleep. I'm tired. I can't get hard. And he's like, I gotta go make breakfast for the house.
I would not hold that against him. He left the party at 7 a.m. and it's probably 9. And he's probably still drunk. I would be like, okay, I believe you. Like,
Ian's at Caleb's house. He's at Caleb's apartment. He's studying for the paramedic exam. And Caleb's like, I like having you here. And Ian's like, I like having a purpose.
which is true. I feel like that's a very integral part of Ian's character.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of, I feel like they kind of lose that later. It's like, oh, okay, whatever happened to that.
The paramedic part is actually very nice. Like he says he feels like he's back in his own skin. That's very good. I just hate his boyfriend. Over to Fiona and Will. And she tries to get Will to go to the store with her to test drive some hoverboards. And Will, not into it. And Fiona's like, I don't want to be your mom. I just want to get along with you. I just want us to like each other.
They really dated themselves with the hoverboarding.
That was so funny. Like a whole place just to ride hoverboards.
Because it was so new. At the time.
Yeah. Quick insert, Frank walking into a black barbershop asking if they take walk-ins. That's it. That's the whole cut. And then to V, who's stitching up the gash in Carl's forehead from the pistol whip. V's like, you gonna tell me how this happened? Are you gonna tell Fiona? And he's like, I'm not gonna tell Fiona, and why the fuck do you care? And she says, I care because I care about you, you fucking shithead. And she tells him, get out of the shit you're involved in. And he's like, don't worry, I have it handled. He doesn't, but...
He does not have it handled.
Isn't that when she's like, I'm sick of you, like, basically cosplaying as, like, a black person?
That was the last episode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But now she's like, Mom. She is Mom. She's like, hey, now you're hurt, and I'm worried, and you need to get the fuck out of this. We join Debbie, who she's registering for baby shower gifts in some baby store. And a guy asked Debbie her opinion on baby swings for his sister. And it was an interaction I didn't trust.
That guy, I know him from something.
Me too.
He always plays a creeper, though.
Hold
There's
on.
a Debbie. I feel like
was.
Debbie starts to. Does she not start to, kind of like collect on this?
No, she doesn't find out until he literally spells it out to her.
It's
and she's not like, okay, I'll sell this. Like,
at first, she's put off by it.
It plays out through this episode. Let me get, because I did recognize that guy too, and I did not look up what he was in.
Lena, why did it look like you just took that pretzel like you were like taking a pill? Like it looked like you just like swallowed it in one gulp and then took a sip of water.
I still am chewing it. I will say
it just
that
looked like it disappeared, and I was like, damn.
I did take my meds like 5 minutes ago though, so I did take a pill on FaceTime. But
he was in a show. He was in a show called Awkward.
What's his name?
I've heard of that.
His name is Brett Davern, Davern. And he's in like one episode of a lot of shit. Yeah.
Let me see.
But he's a reoccurring character
he would look
in
like
Awkward.
that.
Yeah.
He looks like
he looks like that.
He looks like he's part of the cast of So Random.
Stop! He does look like Shane.
He was in the Stanford Prison Experiment. I wasn't even thinking Shane. He's like if Shane and Damien had a baby.
Stop! You are right.
But like this interaction, immediately I was like, "Oh, is he gonna sex traffic her?" Like I was like, "I don't trust this. I don't like this."
He was in movie 43, which Jeremy Allen White was also in.
Oh,
but I don't think they were in the same, like, because movie 43 is just like a
Scene.
series of sketches or whatever. I
Yeah.
don't.
Is that the one where like his like Jeremy's parents like bully him because he's homeschooled, so he has like a real high school life?
Yes. Yes.
His parents like pretend to like beat him up and shit like that.
And Will Sasso was also in that. And Fisher Stevens
What the
from
fuck do I know
Succession.
him from?
He's just got generic white guy face.
I guess it's just Shameless. That
Yeah,
I
they
know
bully
him.
him.
From. Like rewatching Shameless, I'm like, why do I recognize him? It's like, oh, because I watched the show. Like
He was
a
in
couple
the
years
Stanford
ago.
Prison
Yeah.
Experiment, which I saw. The movie.
But yeah, his vibes are weird, and I don't trust it. And then we go to Lip. He's coming back into his room. He's trying to jerk off to porn that he has saved on his phone. Like, he pulls up a porn video that he saved to the gallery on his phone. No, that's weird. Go to a website like a normal fucking person. But once again, he can't get hard. And then he switches to that picture of Helene laying in his bed. Boom, he can get hard. Like, that worked. Back at the baby store, this guy calls Debbie over, finesses her out of her phone number, and asks her out to lunch. It's creepy and weird, and I don't like it. And again, like, I was in my head, because I don't know, I haven't seen this episode, it was, danger. It wasn't, like, creepy, weird dating thing. It was like, oh, danger. Don't follow him to his car. Fucking danger.
I don't think I got that feeling the first time watching it. I was just like, he's a little too into her, but like more so in just like a overly aggressive
Right, well,
way.
I was like, maybe it's like a fetish thing, yeah.
Interesting. Maybe I listened to too many murder podcasts. I immediately went to like, oh, he's going to try and kill her. Joining Frank again. He is now rocking the terrible white man braids, and boy howdy can we see Bill's skull.
He got some tight ass cornrows.
Do you think that was a wig cap and a wig, or do
No,
you think that
was his real
do you think
hair.
they did Bill's hair?
I think
That's
someone did
absolutely
Bill's
his real
hair.
hair.
Ethan had his hair done for while they
Because
were
it was
shooting
also
it.
long as fuck. Like when he takes his braids out in like the next like
It's
episode
long,
or two,
yeah.
it's long.
He's off. He's doing Carl's rounds of the neighborhood. Frank, on his own, does not convince them to pay up. Like, one guy behind the counter is like, I only ever paid that kid because of the scary black guy that was standing in the door. That is why I paid that kid. And it's so racist. This white ass writer's room writing the line, forget protecting against the neighborhood. I need protection against the scary black man. Cool. What a great line, white people in that room. That was awesome.
Great job, guys.
Meanwhile, Fiona and Will are at the hoverboard place, and the sales guy thinks Will is her son, and she doesn't. She's like, no. And Will really likes the hoverboard, and the guy convinces Fiona to get on the hoverboard, and she's fucking delighted. She's a little kid having fun with the new toy. It's adorable, actually.
She should have. It would have been really funny if she fell off, though. I'm
I know.
sorry. It would have been really, really funny if she just ate shit.
And I bet Emmy did. I bet there are takes of Emmy eating shit on this hoverboard.
Maybe she practiced.
To the alibi. V comes by to tell Kev about the gash she had to sew up in Carl's forehead. And V is a smart, savvy woman who knows her husband, because she's like, I promised not to tell Fiona. I promised Carl I would not tell Fiona about his problems. I'm going to tell you because you can't keep your fucking mouth shut. So I know you'll tell Fiona.
And he's
like,
like,
"What
and
the
he's like,
fuck?"
what? And then I'm pretty sure he tells Fiona.
No, he does.
He's like, woman, what did you just do to me? She's like, I'm sorry. I know you. I know what to do.
She was like, I can keep a secret, but you can't.
We go to Frank, who's back in the barbershop saying, I need a scary looking black man. And he's met with a tall man who seems to own the place.
He was like,
He
what
is
the fuck you say?
He is played by Rick Fox. He's a guy whose face you'd recognize. He does a lot of 1 or 2 episode appearances on a lot of shows. His longest run was on the prison show Oz from 1997 and 2003. That's what
Isn't
you-
he an athlete? Wasn't
Rick
he-
Fox?
Was he not an athlete?
Him being like an NFL player would make sense to me. He looks like a football player.
I think he
I
was a
don't think would I
basketball
know
player.
him from anything else.
Hold on. I'm looking.
he shows up in
He was
a
a
lot
basketball
of,
player. He was a basketball player.
Really?
He did a few seasons with the Celtics and a few seasons with the Lakers. And then
Oh.
after, well, he signed with the Lakers because of its proximity to Hollywood, and he had an interest in acting. So then he proceeded to act after.
He's in Donald Faison's new show, Extended Family, for an episode. He does a lot of like 1 or 2 episodes on crime procedurals and stuff
Well,
like
and
that.
he's
He's been in so much shit.
He's in Ballers as himself. He plays himself in a lot of different things. He was in Blackish as himself because he's also famous for being a basketball player. Yeah.
Well, what do you know?
You
Cool.
learn a new thing
Yeah,
every
he
day. Oh my
looks
god,
like
he
an
was in
athlete.
Dope.
That makes sense.
He was in the movie with Blake Anderson. That's crazy.
Oh my god, he was in the guild with fucking Felicia Day.
Oh, dude, he was in Party Down as himself. He would be.
He's a very handsome guy.
What a
This
guy.
does
Yeah.
not surprise
Oh, he was
me.
in Mom
Yeah.
with fucking
He was in Mom?
he was in Mom.
Oh, cool. But his longest run, he was in Oz, from 1997 to 2000. It's a prison
He
show.
was in
show.
Sharknado.
Mm-hmm.
He's in a lot of like Hallmark movies too. We join Deb.
He was
Anyway,
in
Rick
Casey
Fox.
Undercover with the Zendaya.
I like making sure that we mention the guest stars and who they are, because like, you know, we love these guys. We join Debbie. She's now out to lunch with weird baby store man. He's asking her how big her family is and brings up middle child syndrome. And he, like, this is what was Danger Will Robinson to me, was this line. Like, you could just not show up one day and no one would notice.
I feel like they were probably leading us in that direction to think that he was like a murderer, and then it's like, oh no, he's just like a fetishist.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just like so like desensitized from the show that like creepy man saying that. I was like, oh, that happens all the time in this show. Some of the main characters act that way. So like,
Yeah. I've truly listened to too many stories about pregnant women being abducted and then like their babies being cut out of them. Like that's what I was picturing during
Oh
this.
my god.
poor things.
On Shameless.
Ugh.
That's one of the ways to get rid of the baby storyline.
Oh, sidebar. Did you guys see Poor Things?
No,
Not yet. I have.
I did not like it.
That's what I've been hearing lately. People are starting to
So-
turn on it.
Zoe loved it.
Here's my thing, is that I don't want to spoil it, but do you guys understand, like, what the main premise is?
Yeah,
Like, do you know why?
What I've been hearing is, like, people who read the book are like, it's not as nuanced as the book. Which, of course, it never is.
Like, do you know, like, why she is kind of like the Frankenstein thing? Okay, alright, well, I can't really say anything, but let's just say a lot of weirdly pedophilic undertones, and it made me really uncomfortable for a good majority of the movie. So once you guys watch it, I really want to debrief, because I need to talk to more people who've seen it, because a lot of the people I've talked to it also didn't like it, but people who haven't seen it yet are people who are really big fans of the director and the author, and I'm like, okay, but like, this isn't anything like The Lobster, it's weirder, so...
Okay.
But, sorry,
it
just
is
made
on
me
my
think
list.
about
It
that
is on my
because
list.
of,
Yeah.
the baby comment.
Okay.
Well, cutting out a baby.
Yeah, no, that's I don't know anything about the movie besides it's a little bit freaky, so okay. Anyway, to a much less disturbing lunch, Fiona is having a meal with Will, and she's like, I'm also used to my parents bringing around partners I did not want around. And she's like, one time I planted weed on one of the boyfriends to get him away, and she sees a light bulb go off in Will's head. She's like, go ahead, kid. Try it. Get me arrested. Next thing you know, you're gonna be crying because you miss me so much.
I remember everyone was making edits with that clip, especially after she left, because it's like, I do miss you.
And then she gets a text from Kev. And also Caleb still exists. He's dropping Ian off at the hospital for his EMT class exam something. And he invites Ian to an outing with his friends, which includes an ex. And some guy outside the hospital sees them kiss goodbye and says it's disgusting. And Ian starts to get in the guy's face, but Caleb makes him back off, and Ian does.
But then he like walks past him as he's leaving and like gives him like blows a little kiss at him.
Ugh. Like, I guess it's like, yes, Ian is learning not to fly off the handle so much all the time, but I also hate this narrative of, like, Caleb training him. I don't like it.
Yeah, like, bad dog.
Yeah. Yeah, we join Frank, once again, now with his own scary black man to help him intimidate the neighborhood. Frank gives him too small of a cut, and the guy's like, no, I'm gonna throw in an extra fee here for you being a racist jackass. Which is so fair and so true of him. And then Fiona brings Will to the alibi so that Kev can tell her the Carl secret. And they're so brother-sister. Kev and Fiona are so brother-sister.
No, it's so cute. When Will sits at the bar, he's like, scotch, and he's like, Coke.
It's like, Kev immediately is like, I have to tell you a thing, Fiona. And like, they're family. I love it. They're family. Back at the house, Carl is digging a hole for a landmine he is going to bury, and there's now also razor wire around the fencing of the yard. And Frank says he's gonna go with Carl for the pickup tomorrow, and Carl's like, no, I'm going straight. And Frank says, I could not be more disappointed in you, son.
What a fuck.
Father of the year. Over to Lip and Ewan's. They're day drinking while they grade papers. By the way, Lip is drinking a lot.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Lip asks Ewan's if he ever uses Viagra, and Ewan's is like, yeah, once or twice. And Lip's like, I've got Helene in my head. I'm all fucked up. And Ewan's like, it is not Helene. You are drinking so much, you can't get hard. You have whiskey dick. And Lip's like, oh, okay, so I don't drink for a few days and I'll be good. And Ewan's like, can you remember the last time you stopped drinking for a few hours? He tells Lip, hydrate and lay off the booze for the rest of the day and see if you can get hard. Which, like, the fact that we've already progressed to the point where it's like, can you stay sober today?
Yeah. Like, that's a tall order for him.
And, like, it's sort of been happening in the background. Like, what? This feels like it should be a bigger deal story point of, like,
but the only person...
I guess they're just trying to be like, this is how it sneaks up on you.
But, like, because the only person who's recognizing this is the other fucking extremist alcoholic who is in the same spiral that he is in.
And, yeah, so that's, like, his goal. Let me not drink today and see if my whiskey dick goes away. But yeah, back to Fiona and Will at the Gallagher house, where Fiona catches Carl boarding up the windows and setting up an escape ladder. And that is when he finally tells her about Nick going back to jail, and that he can't get the image of the dead body out of his head. And he says, again, Ethan is so good in this. He says, figure I'll see more people get dropped if I stay in the game. I don't want to see that.
Ugh.
Ah! Like, this is the best Ethan has ever been. And ever will be.
Sorry. Yeah.
And Fiona's like, is it okay if I say I'm proud of you? And then they hug and, like, beef squashed. They're friends again.
They're pals.
Debbie and Creepy Man have pulled up to the house because she got in his car like an idiot. And he's getting fetishy about her pregnancy. And like I said here, I thought this was going to go the human trafficking way. So the fetish was a bit of a relief.
You're like, oh my god.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, it's just a weird sex thing. Okay, alright, that's fine. In Lip's bed, he has a different naked sorority girl who's been jerking him for 20 minutes, but nothing. Even he's sober. Nothing. But then over
I feel like it probably
her
takes
shoulder-
more than a couple hours.
Yeah. But then over, like, his arm is behind her and he holds his phone up over her shoulder so he can look at the picture of Helene. And now he's hard.
It's so weird. It's so weird, dude.
And then Frank and Carl. Frank meets
It must
Carl's
suck.
gang boss.
Sorry, it must kind of suck to have such an obvious indicator of arousal, though. Where it's like, because it's like, I know that I can fake it. I know that I have faked it before. But, like,
They have a whole thing
They
that indicates
can't.
if it's good
Right.
or not.
It's like no, seriously. It's like you have an indicator. Like
You can hide it by pretending that like you're really into giving head. Like that's okay. Frank, it does suck. Boo-hoo. Men are so tragic and sad. Um, Frank meets with Carl's gang bosses and offers to sub in for Carl for the day. And the head guy's like, if Frank doesn't make good on this delivery, he will carve out his left nut and feed it to a dog. And that Carl still isn't off the hook. And then there's a quick dumb scene of Ian leaving a movie with Caleb and his friends. And, like, they are boring next. Like, they're just boring.
well, and then isn't Caleb like, this is how gay people are supposed to
they're just
act?
talking about, like, super...
Or something,
like-
something. I feel like Ian is, like, annoyed at not, like, annoyed, but just, like, a little weirded out that there's an X there. And then Caleb's like, it's normal. What are you talking about?
And, like, also, the X is, like, being jabby. Like, they're all, like, picking out, like, small remarks about Ian, and they're also, like, comparing him to the X.
They're being bitchy about Ian. Doesn't someone ask him, like, oh, do the carpets match the drapes? Also, isn't the X, like, older?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all older.
They're all
Which,
older.
Like, Ian
He's the only other ginger dude there.
But
Yeah.
also, Ian cannot throw stones if Caleb's ex is like a 50-year-old man.
Oh, no. It's like, well, girl, you've been there. Sorry.
But, like, this is just them there's, like, a scene of them, like, at brunch later, but, like, they're leaving a movie. They're boring. They're boring. I don't like them. Lip is back at the house. Also, it's because it's a straight writer's room that can't write gay people.
Half of them
But-
look like they're stepped out of Modern Family.
Literally.
Like, they literally just, like, dressed up Cam. Like, that guy looked like Cam. That was, like, Caleb's ex-boyfriend.
It'll forever shake me to my core that is a straight actor.
Yeah. The fact that they're... I always thought it was the opposite, but it's the complete opposite.
That man is so good.
Like, seeing him be himself, and I'm like, you are a street man. Like, you're really good at acting.
God, Modern Family's so good. Bring back 22 episode seasons of TV shows.
I'm gonna start that.
Lip is back at the house. Well, Abbott were it not for the writer's strike, Abbott was going to have a 22 episode season. So this is our salvation. Is Abbott
Right. Well, it's like not their fault. Not their fault.
Yeah. Lip is back at the house, seeing what Carl has done to it for the first time. And Queenie is in the middle. She's tattooing Chucky's forehead to make the swastika into like a flower or something. She's putting something on his forehead. And Queenie's like, you are the spitting image of your father 35 years ago. And
She's saying that to Chucky?
To Lip.
To Lip. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And Lip does not want to hear that, but he's like, okay.
Well, especially because
Hello,
he's like,
lady.
I've been drinking too much.
Debbie comes downstairs. She's struggling to get into her pants, but she leaves just like unbuttoned to go to Lama's class. And Queenie feeds Lip and calls him Frank Jr. It's confusingly functional.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Sean goes with Carl. This is Sean stepping up. Sean, he's not the stepdad. He's the dad who stepped up. He goes with Carl to meet his bosses. And Sean is immediately in over his head. He's like, you told Fiona it was a couple of kids on the corner. He lied, Sean. It is not a couple of kids on the corner. It is, in fact, an actual functioning gang.
Because I feel like for the longest time, the only interaction you really saw were, like, him and, like, the kids he would, like, mess with on, like, the corner.
Some kids, there was G-Dog in season 5.
I don't think you ever met G-Dog.
But that was not weapons. That was drugs.
And then this is drugs, too. Like, Frank's run is drugs.
Oh.
They must do guns
It's
and
just
drugs.
general running, yeah.
Yeah. Sean, and like when they go to talk to the guys, Sean is like, Carl did not snitch on you when he was in juvie. He could have. It would have reduced his sentence, and he didn't. So why would he snitch on the street for no good reason? Just let him out. He's gonna keep his fucking mouth shut. Let him out.
Well, it's like,
And then-
that's not the way it works, though.
But, like, that's a good case, though. He's like,
Yeah.
Carl has done time for you already.
Right, like,
and,
that's a marker of loyalty.
Yeah. Like, he could have given you up and gotten less time, and he did not do that. So, like, what reason would he have for blabbing and getting himself killed? That would be ridiculous. And he's like, and also, he's going to be too busy to run his mouth. He's going to be working for me full-time as a dishwasher. Like, he's going to be occupied. He's going to be quiet.
And Carl looks at him like, really? And he's like, yeah.
He's like, yeah, you better say yes. Sorry.
After this shit, yeah.
And then the guy takes Sean for his coat, and then his shoes, and then his car, and then the rest of his clothes. And Sean is a good man. He is a good man. And so he gives it all up for Carl. He gives them everything.
Because I feel like if he didn't, they would be in like deeper shit. Then the guys would like go after Sean too.
And then Frank goes back to the barbershop. He gets to get Rick Fox for the ride to Indiana. And he flashes the Coke. And the guy goes along with it. And Debbie goes to her... The guy's like, close that fucking door. And like, keeps Frank in the room. Debbie goes to her Lamaze class, finds out the guy that she went out with is also dating another pregnant woman, and that it's his thing. He has one woman for every month of pregnancy that they are in.
That's so weird. That's so fucking weird.
It is weird.
It's weird that he can pull that many pregnant women.
He's not even hot.
And the woman that he's with knows that and is fine with it.
She's like, no, it's okay, honey, we can share. And even Debbie's like, like, what the fuck?
So interesting.
She storms out of the class. That's like the end of this storyline. It's stupid. We cut to Sean and it could have lost it and had something more significant in the episode, but whatever. We cut to Sean and Carl walking home in their underwear and socks. They
love that bridge.
March in Chicago.
They love filming on that bridge.
Honestly, this bridge is in so many scenes this season.
Yeah. They said we're on location, let's fucking...
You're like, let's
get some filler.
Let's use it.
Like, they took Carl's chain, they took everything. And then back to Ian and Caleb. His friends are insufferable. Apparently, the last boyfriend of Caleb was a deadbeat looking for a green card. And Ian plays along with them, like, sarcastic comment for sarcastic comment.
He gets to be catty. Ian loves to be catty. He's like, yay, I get to be bitchy.
And he probably honestly learned this behavior and how to interact with this class of people from his regulars at the club. And, like, the guy whose, like, apartment that he went to with Mickey that one time. And that's it. Like, Ian can keep up, and he's, like, earning points with Caleb and his friends because he can keep up with the bitchiness.
Because they're like, oh, okay, he can bite back.
And Fiona is making dinner at Sean's place, and he and Carl come home practically naked and freezing. But Carl is out. Free and clear, he's out. She sends Carl, she's like, Carl, go take a hot shower. And she wraps Sean in a blanket. And she goes, I kind of love you right now. And he goes, yeah, you better. And nice callback to earlier in the episode. Very cute. So literally every scene with them. I'm so angry. This is not her man.
Sorry.
Back to Frank. He's cutting himself a few lines of coke. He's helping himself to the brick. And the muscle guy is also digging deep into the coke shipment and replacing it with baby laxative. And at first it's like a little bit. It's a little bit and then a little bit and everything's going to be fine. And it doesn't stick to being a little bit. They end up doing the whole fucking brick. At the apartment, Sean goes to get Will for dinner and finds him in his bedroom holding one of Carl's guns.
Uh-oh.
Then we cut away again. This pacing, fuck this. I hate it.
Like, Sean opens the door, he's like, and then he takes it from him, and then it just cuts.
Yeah. Back at the Gallagher house, Queenie brings Lip a beer and sits with him. They start to discuss Queenie's belief in holistic healing practices. He says, as a science guy, that shit it's hard to buy. And she's like, well, what about just pressure points? Just natural pressure points in your body. And she starts to rub his feet. And she asks why he's home. And she's like, I could tell from the tension in your foot that you just went through a rough breakup. And do you guys believe in, like, this kind of stuff makes sense to me, that you hold tension in certain parts of your body?
I don't know about her
Yeah.
being so right about, like, the details of his life, but, like, I've
Like,
never
obviously
had
you
I've
can
never had an
feel-
experience like that where someone's been so, like, on it about, you know, like, I've never sought that out where someone's been like,
Yeah,
oh,
like-
you have tension in this place because of this or whatever.
Yeah, like, you can obviously, like, I've had people been like, oh, you have tension here, but not been like, it's because you had this fight today and you are thinking about it. It's like, no, you probably just slept weird, so, like, it's
Yeah.
gonna relieve. The reason you have a migraine and you're a bitch today is because you have a knot in, like, your neck and you can't turn your head a certain way. Like, it's, like, kind of, like, more like that type of shit.
Yeah.
But
Or
not
like
in your
you
foot.
hold your stress in your shoulders because when you're stressed, you hold your shoulders in this way, and that like causes, like, that kind of shit makes sense to me.
And, like, there's, like, that one pressure point in, like, your ear to help with, like, migraines. Like, that makes sense. Like, in your feet, it makes sense, but, like, not to tell your life story by
Yeah.
feeling your feet.
Yeah, like nerve endings reacting in a certain way because of X, Y, or Z. Like, that shit, that tracks. That is like a 1-to-1. Yeah, okay. I can get along with that.
I'm not saying touching your feet, though, is gonna make you jizz in your pants.
Well, because he tells her about Helene. He said he liked the way she looked at him, but that she was selfish and she tossed him aside when shit hit the fan. That's the most honest I think we've heard him be about a woman. He's like, I like the way I felt when she looked at me. And the foot rub does seem to help get his like, as she's rubbing his foot, he's like he's getting some anger out, which is nice, and that relaxes him a little bit. And then she finds the pressure point of his sex organ, and they zoom in on his crotch. You can see him, like, you see his dick fill up. Like, what was there a balloon in Jeremy's pants? Like, what was the rigging for this?
Maybe they've done that before, not on Shameless, but like in other shows.
No, they did it
I don't know.
before
Is
for
it?
the
But I'm
supermarket
also
dude.
like, is it the foot? I'm like, is it the foot rub or is it him actually getting to talk out loud about Helene and kind of
probably a
reminisce?
combination
It's
of
probably
both.
both.
Start,
That's like
but the kids doesn't
arousing
start
him.
feeling that way until she starts to, like, put more and more pressure onto it. And he's like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
And like, there are erogenous zones like all over the body, and like there is one in the foot. So like, but it's I was fascinated by the zoom in of his crotch and watching him get hard, because I was like, did Jeremy do this? Did a stunt person? Did like a double do this? Is it a balloon rigged in his pants that somebody is like pumping up? Like, how did they get this shot? It's fascinating to me. Like, how silly goofy was Jeremy sitting there with like a balloon pump in his hand and they like told him when to pump it up? Like, how did this go? How did this come to be? But anyway, she keeps rubbing his foot and goes, "Be a good boy, come for grandma." And then comes in his pants.
Crazy.
That's weird, guys. Hey, chat, is this real?
For grandma, especially given that Frank is his dad and she's dating Frank. It's like,
That's
that's
stepmom
not
right
grandma.
now.
That would be mommy, if anything. That would be mommy, if anything.
That was,
Girl, why are you aging yourself?
Be a good boy. Sorry. Hey, chat, is this real?
I've been saying that
Hey,
so
chat,
much
is this
recently,
real?
like at work. Like me and my coworkers.
I love
are
that.
like,
I'm gonna start doing
Chat,
that.
is this real?
Chat.
Oh god, I love that. Oh my god. Queenie is a crazy wild lady. And you're right, why is she saying grandma? You're not his grandma.
Yeah, you're a
Chucky's
grandma.
For sure. Now drop us in the middle of a fight. Sean and Fiona are arguing about Will getting his hands on a gun. And she's like, I left him alone in my house for 1 minute, and I am just as upset about this as you are. And she's like, what am I supposed to do? Pat him down? And Sean says, if he's in the vicinity of your fucked up criminal brother, yeah. Ooh.
Boom, mic drop.
Ooh. That one hurt.
Bazinga.
Whoops.
And Shaw's like, when
Whoops.
Will's mom finds out about this, I am going to lose custody of him. And she's like, what? No, it was my responsibility. She's like, I am his father and I left him with you. Ah! It's like...
She didn't know that he had guns on him, though.
Yeah.
He said he was getting out of it.
Emmy does that great, like, I've just been slapped with words face. I love that. Yeah, mouth agape.
And her eyebrows, like, go real close together. Yeah, I know the one.
Speaking of bad fathers, Frank is getting so fucking high on his own supply, and they have to deliver this brick that is now 80% baby laxative. There's barely any coke in there. And even...
How did they do that much? Oh, whoa.
Even high as balls, Frank is like, this is bad. This is bad. I've done a bad thing. Then we go back to the Gallagher house. Carl is walking Fiona through where all the guns are that he stashed in the house. And it's a lot of them.
And he's like, oh, I can't find the one in the fridge. And he was like, well, then that's probably
like
the one
one in
Will
the vegetable
took.
crisper, one under the couch cushion, one in the fish tank. Like, they're just...
Yeah, there was one in the plant, too. Like, there was, like, one everywhere.
Like, he's crazy.
More boring town. Caleb and Ian are in bed.
Except
They're
not
talking about the
boring.
house.
This scene is not boring.
No, this is
This scene is crazy.
a scene.
Oh, yeah. We discussed this. So in 607, we had a big discussion about when they drop this information of is if it's before or after they have had sex. It is after. We find out that because they're talking about their past relationship skeletons, and that's when we find out that Caleb is HIV positive, which is something he did not disclose to Ian before they had sex, which is so reprehensibly irresponsible. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to disclose your status.
He's
You
like,
do not
oh, we
have
had
to
sex
disclose
with
your
a
status
condom,
to
though.
everyone. You don't have to disclose it to anybody you don't want to anybody that you're just like casually dating, seeing, having dinner with, kissing. If you are going to have sex with this person, it is your obligation to tell them.
Yeah.
Especially
Like-
because most, like, people, obviously, like, not Ian because he's hashtag different, but, like, most people in the dating scene, like, especially the gay dating scene, are usually preemptively just on prep, or they know enough to know, like, hey, well, if we have sex with a condom, I should be I am relatively safe.
But to still insist
you know?
that and not disclose it
So-
at all, like, yeah.
But you
'Cause, like,
still
it
should
doesn't
tell them.
matter
It's
if
not
you're
like,
we made sure to wear a condom. It's just like, what if that broke? What if it snapped? What if
Yeah,
you
exactly.
actually had an accident and someone started bleeding? Like, you never fucking know.
right, and they need to be able to
Act accordingly
like-
fast.
well, to assume, like, I don't know if they're gonna assume that responsibility or take that risk or whatever.
Yeah, like it is. He took that choice away from Ian, which is like, and like this, not just HIV, any STD. If you like have sex with somebody a couple of times and say, "Oh, by the way, I have syphilis. Did I forget? Did I not tell you that?" Like,
Yeah,
no,
the fuck?
fuck you. What the fuck do you mean? This information is like, I went in knowing this was going to happen, and I was like, I preemptively hate this man because that's oh, I hate this. Oh, I hate it. And they have had sex already, but with a condom because Caleb insisted they have a condom.
Right, and we know how Ian is. He
Yeah.
is not a condom boy. He
Yeah.
is pretty irresponsible that way.
And like, I would also feel this about any character. Like, if Lip was HIV positive and didn't tell a girl he was sleeping with that he was HIV positive, I would be so fucking angry at him.
Stop. Another Glee parallel when fucking Artie gets chlamydia.
Like, one show that did this, like, kind of better was
Yeah.
How to
Yes.
Get Away with Murder, where when Connor and Oliver break up, and then Oliver becomes HIV positive from a one-night stand. The guy didn't tell him that he was HIV positive, and then Connor goes on PrEP. Great storyline. I actually really enjoyed that. Well, and it's also, it's like, okay, they have to wait for sex. Connor is changing as a character.
Yeah.
That show was kind of good, those first couple seasons.
Well, there were gay people in that writer's room.
Yeah. Well, the showrunner was gay.
Who was the showrunner?
Well, yes. Pete Nowak. Pretty sure he's gay.
Oh, really? I wonder if Peter Page was ever
Well,
involved in that,
yes.
because he was involved in Station 19, which is another Shonda Rhimes universe thing. But yeah, just disgusting. Ian admits he is bipolar, but that he has it under control and that he hasn't felt this happy in a long time. Happy or bored? Like,
Yeah. Happy or just, like, neutral.
yeah, like nothing particularly exciting.
He's
is happening.
occupied. He's occupied for once,
Yeah.
but is he entertained by it? No.
We go to the Gallagher house. Fiona is ripping the white boy braids the fuck out of Carl's head. And Frank is back from Indiana. The gang finds him and goes, "Hey, why the fuck is my guy in Indiana shitting his brains out right now?" And they
He's
chase him
like,
down the
"What?
street.
That's
We cut to
crazy."
credits. The after credit scene is Lip having sex with 3 girls at once. And like, okay, Jeremy. Like, Jeremy looks good.
It's kind of silly because people are like, how did Jeremy Allen White blow up so hard? And it's like, because of scenes like this.
Yeah, look at him. Look at him.
Because of scenes like, they knew he could pull.
And it's, yeah, it's very good. This was a very necessary after credit scene. I was very into it. The credits song is Watch Me Explode by Charlie Abbott. Next week on Shameless, Debbie goes to the commune with Queenie to be in the maternity tent. Gus comes back around for the ring that Fiona pawned and never brought back, and Dominique comes
Love this
back
next
around
episode.
Carl
Love
'cause
this
he's
next
not
episode.
trying too hard. 609
Let's
does
go.
fuck. 609 is pretty good.
This next one's good.
Yeah.
It really launches us into the last third of the season. Like it
Yeah.
moves a lot of things.
609,
along.
I'm like, this is a rare moment in this season where I have seen the next one because I did the notes for the next one.
You're ahead.
It does fuck. Yeah. But anyway, that was this episode. What do we
This
think?
season's entertaining. I like it.
It was what it was. It was what it was. Yeah. I was like, okay, not enough Kevin
Yeah.
V for
We
me.
could have dropped the entire...
What, 2
Could have
scenes
dropped the whole Debbie
maybe?
storyline. and
Yeah, I
had more
didn't need
Kevin V.
any of that.
Oh, 100%.
More Kevin V,
'Cause
less
100%.
Debbie.
But whatever.
Because, like,
They just can't think of anything to do with them right
this
now.
is my problem with them. They, like, especially in the later seasons, they're like, oh, here is a plot point that is brought up and resolved in one episode. Well, then why'd you bring it up? What was the point of that? Why'd you bring it up?
Yeah, or like if you're gonna do that with other characters, why are you not also doing it with Kevin B?
Yeah.
Because, like, we still have to see them every episode, and we have to be like, what have they been doing for the last fucking 24 hours?
Right?
Not interesting enough
okay,
to
are their
us?
lives boring? I would even watch a storyline like about one of their kids
Like,
being
we had
naughty
a whole
or
episode
something.
about
like it's like, oh,
lice.
one twin is being super naughty because they're still babies, and it's like she's like getting into this and that. I would have watched that. I would have been like, yes,
Yeah,
okay.
like, the girls bit Yevgeny, like, and now we have to deal with that. Like,
And now they're getting accused of having rabies.
That'd be
Already
so
a better
funny.
storyline.
because, like, bringing up and solving the creepy guy hitting on Debbie.
Kev is weirdly convinced that they're raising vampire babies. He starts to get really scared.
And, like, wait, that storyline, just going with that. And Svet, like, feeds into it just to fuck with him. Like,
Well, because her Russian accent, she starts doing a little Transylvanian,
Yeah!
and she's like, or no, other way around. Yevgeny bit the girls, and Svet convinces Kev that he's part vampire because comes from the area of the
Too
world,
good.
and he starts to get scared.
that's so... Write
Guys,
that
we
fanfic
should have been
right
in the
now.
room.
Should've
We
been.
should have been in the room.
What the hell goes on?
Write that fanfic right
Write that down.
fucking
Write that down. Write that down.
Cut that,
Oh,
cut that, so no
God.
one steals our ideas.
Okay, I'm just gonna pretend that storyline happened in this episode because it would have made it. Because, like, Kev V functioned as sewing up Carl's head, passing on information, and then Kev passed on information. That was it. That was their function in this episode. Which, like, at least they, like, touched on the storyline that was running. Debbie, like, went over to the left and had a stupid little storyline that immediately resolved itself. I'm like, okay,
It was just
never
so
mind.
unnecessary just for it to be, like, a weird creeper. Like, nothing added to her storyline. We didn't hear anything about her pregnancy. It's just she's pregnant and this man likes pregnant women. I don't care.
Like,
at
what if
all.
they should have stretched the cancer mom storyline out longer. Like, they should have hooked up. They should have, like, explored that part of Debbie a little bit. Like, they should have.
But they weren't.
Yeah.
They were not gonna do a Debbie lesbian storyline until Fiona left, because it was originally for Fiona.
Yeah.
And also, I do think there is some, like, weird. There's probably some hang up about making Emma, who was a minor, like, have a relation or kiss
A grown
like
ass
on
woman.
screen, and
Yeah.
a grown woman, like,
Well,
because
yeah.
they do it with Ethan, but usually the girls are age. I mean, every time I think thus far the girls have been age
Well,
appropriate.
yeah, well, with
so-
Cam, too, they waited until Cam turned 18 for him to have a kissing scene.
with yeah
No,
with Noel,
with
because
Cash,
he's
too, because
older.
the one time you
Oh,
sort of
yeah.
see them kiss, they go into it, and it cuts, and then it's the back of Cash's head.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
like,
When they're, like,
yeah.
standing outside.
So it's ambiguous, yeah. Which I guess they could do the same with Debbie.
But then that's just
whatever.
stupid.
Yeah, it's just, something about this show, they set up 3-episode or 2-episode storylines that resolve themselves and then don't have an effect on the rest of the series. It's like, well, then what was the point? Why did
Filling
we
time.
do that?
Filling time.
Especially for someone who's going through, like, a pretty intense, like, character storyline, for that to be the only thing she was given this episode. Like, they also didn't give
Yeah.
a fuck. Even though I don't
Like,
care
I would rather
already,
you give her nothing.
they don't care either.
Like, go girl, give us nothing. Like, have her just hang out with Queenie in the house in the whole episode. That's fine.
Yeah.
That would have been fine. Because then at least that pushes you toward
What happens
her
next
going to the
episode,
commune with
yeah.
Queenie in the next episode. Like, yeah.
Their own
But-
pacing they didn't understand what to do with her. And they were like, she's pregnant. What do we do until the baby's here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, they don't
okay.
treat her like any other pregnant person, really. Like, I feel like you don't really hear her morning sickness, her highs and lows, like, her going to the doctor. It's kind of just like she's pregnant and then she has the baby and she was fine the whole time.
Yeah.
And we're talking
like
about,
with
like, a
V-
child having a baby.
There's early stuff. There's Frank goes with her to the ultrasounds
Well,
or
that's
whatever.
well,
but-
I'm not talking about like that, but I'm like excusing next episode when she's in like the maternity tent. But I'm like every other episode prior, like besides like those one-off ultrasound things, I feel like you didn't hear like about her own experience as like her pregnancy, because you know how like people are like, I'm glowing or I'm dying.
Yeah.
It was kind of just like Debbie's here.
Yeah,
and
like,
she has a
right,
baby
yeah,
in
yeah,
her
no, that
belly.
makes sense.
V got to be like a whole person when she was pregnant. There was the journey of getting to be pregnant. There was the journey of when she was pregnant and she was sick and miserable all the time, that she like didn't feel sexy anymore, that she like
Yeah.
she was a person.
And then the postpartum and then
yeah.
all that. And I feel like Debbie is just pregnant and then not pregnant. And then now the only addition to her life is that there's a baby on her hip in her scene. Like, the Franny does end up, like, adding to her storyline, don't get me wrong. But I feel like it's just Debbie with a baby on her hip, not Debbie the mother. I don't know. She's still pregnant, so we can't talk that far ahead. But
yeah.
anyways, Amanda, how'd you feel about this episode? This is your first time seeing it.
I mean, it was fine. It wrapped up the Carl storyline nicely, which I did enjoy. And like in wrapping up the Carl storyline, it incorporated a little bit of Frank, and it incorporated Fiona and Sean's story, and like it tied everybody together a little bit, and like that was really cool. That was a really nice, dynamically flowing storyline, which I really liked. And even the Ian and Caleb, which I did hate, it at least is building EMT Ian, which is an important aspect of him moving forward.
Absolutely.
So that aspect I liked. But yeah, I think there's strong Ethan in this, and there's strong Fiona Sean in this.
Yeah, and that's the whole episode.
Yeah, basically.
Shameless,
What about you, Lena?
shameless.
How I feel about this episode?
Yeah.
It is what it is. It was entertaining. I remembered a lot of like big pieces from it. The forgettable parts are incredibly forgettable. But I feel like that's kind of just reflective of like the season as a whole.
Especially when they're like trying to savor
Kinda.
all like the last big couple of moments for like the last couple of episodes, because like we're like 4 episodes away from the finale, so they're like, let's hold off on like more interesting things to wrap up the season with.
Yeah. I did like the cheeky little, I love you right now. You better. I love you right now. You better. Like, that was fun. That was cool.
All right, I think we have approximately 5 minutes until my computer shuts down.
Then let's wrap it up. Let's get out of here. Let's see you next time. Thanks for hanging out, guys.
Yes, good chatting. Miss you guys always.
Always. And until the next time we record and then reschedule and then
Y'all know
and then
where to
schedule
find
again.
us. You've been listening already. Find us on all the platforms.
And we love the listeners, but we're also I'm determined to finish this as a project. Like,
I'm in it for the long run.
11
It's been
seasons.
3 years at this point. You think I'm just gonna stop?
It's been like 4.
It's coming
maybe.
up on 4.
And I love our little
Yeah.
chats. It's fun. Like, I was so excited to tell you guys I was watching Succession. Like,
Well, you were like, I have a surprise. I was like, what is it?
okay, all right. Now we actually have to go.
Alrighty,
All right.
bye.
Bye.
Bye.